Hello there, toy collectors. My name is Kevin, aka Toying Around, and I am very excited to bring you this special review.
If anything, the Kim family, they're archetypes.
Which is sad, but not always a bad thing.
I'm okay, I have one Zusi on the name.
Let's try them. Let's still try.
How's it going, everyone? Happy Friday. Second random video. Actually, no, second video Friday. The first one was random earlier today. You can check that out later. Nothing important, but we are live. Thank you for coming out. This is What If? I recap some What If. Normally on the channel, if you're new here, I collect action figures and review them. And a lot of the times we get these amazing toys and collectibles because there are cool movies and TV shows that they're based off of. So, whenever something comes along like this, whether it's, a Star Wars show or Marvel show, I like to talk about the content that inspires the action figures as well. We get to talk about the toys at the same time. So it's a lot of fun. And I get to do that with my friend Troy from Instagram, a fellow Canadian collector. You can follow him on Instagram at Troy Collects Toys. How's it going, Troy?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. Welcome back. Episode 2.
Episode 2.
I want to thank everyone who's watching right now. I know it's a, Friday night. Are people going out again? I'm not sure. I haven't gone out in many years. But shout outs to Torensu, who's here, Marcus Yee, Yoko. Yoko might be the new Chamba, the new multiple woman, because she's on both platforms as well. Appreciate you, Yoko. And yes, no, it was important. The earlier video was important. Give it a watch if you have time later. We have Great White North Empire in here, and 796 Studios, and Mackerson. How's everyone doing? That was for the chat. I'm going to assume you all said fantastic. Troy, what's new with you? What's been going on? Let people know what you do before we get into this.
Well, thank you for the compliments on my glasses. They're totally fake. I decided just to wear glasses today because I found them on the floor because I don't know if my shelf.
I do that with a lot of stuff I find on the floor.
Yeah, my shelf broke, so I found stuff and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna wear this today." Yeah,
wait, your shelf broke and then you found glasses, so it was like a treasure chest you busted open?
Yes. So I had like an IKEA shelf for all my workout supplements and my my watch little, I don't know, my little display for my watches. And I guess I had glasses and sunglasses there. And I don't know, one day my dad's decided he wanted to do some work upstairs, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to tell anyone," and the whole freaking shelf fell. And I was like, "Oh, awesome." Come home from work at 7:00 and I'm like, I can't deal with this right now. And I just left it there for days. And
Lovely.
And today was the day I finally picked stuff off the floor and I found these glasses, and yeah, I'm wearing them. But what's happening with me? Honestly, nothing really. I don't know. There's been so much stuff happening in the last couple days.
Well, have you been working on your giveaway? Have you reached your goal yet?
We've reached our goal, but I haven't even talked about my giveaway. Haven't even mentioned it because I just haven't had the time. I've been back at work full time and doing 42 hours a week.
Oh,
so it's really hard to balance things right now. So it's we'll see what happens. But no, the giveaway is still happening 120%. It's just I'm working on the right time kind of thing. I know more things are happening, and I don't know. I keep on buying more things that I shouldn't be buying. I found this in the wild today. So I found
nice.
Mr. Echo.
That's a good one, though.
Very good one. And then I found this in the wild today.
What?
So I was like, yeah. So I missed the black hand ninja because I didn't want the zombie one. So I decided to go to Toys R Us today, and I found this. So I was like, nice. Perfect. But yeah, the giveaway is still happening. It's just been delayed. I'm working on it this weekend. And look what you have in your hand. What's that?
I've pre-ordered this in April?
Mm-hmm.
The John Walker Marvel Legends Captain America. Walmart. I pre-ordered it from Walmart.ca, and they started shipping it in store. I was kind of getting annoyed that they did store first instead of the pre-orders online, but this one finally shipped out. The ones that showed up in store are actually $3 more than when I pre-ordered it. So, while we're talking about toys and stuff that come with these shows, here's one that came out of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which we also did a series of streams on. So it's cool to finally get this. I don't know if I'm going to open it yet. This might be one where I have to surgically remove it from the bottom, take a look at the figure, and then it might be a reboxing item. But it's pretty cool piece because the packaging was inspired by or is made to look like an action figure from within the show. So it's like a real life prop, I guess. And that goes next to Terrible MODOK, my nemesis.
But it also goes right beside that beautiful box set of yours that everyone is super jealous of.
Yeah,
but
no, it's an amazing box set. And
yeah,
shout outs to Hasbro for that reveal and hooking it up. Speaking of which, I had a chance to speak with Dwight and Dan from the Hasbro Legends team earlier this week. If you guys are interested, you haven't watched it yet, do check it out. It's on my webpage, touringaround.ca, or it's here on YouTube. And if you're on Twitch watching this right now, or if you would prefer to watch this on Twitch, this stream right now is available on Twitch as well. Twitch.tv/touringaround. Thank you everyone for watching. Give it a thumbs up, share, let people know that we're on right now. This was a really good episode of Marvel's What If, and just want to hear your thoughts about it, or everyone in the chat, let me know what's going on. Along with this interview with the Hasbro team, yesterday was Thursday, so for Unboxing Thursdays, I sat down with my friend Jason Lowe, who is a comic creator, an artist, and also a cosplayer. It's awesome. He started off as a cosplayer. I don't know if you've ever seen this picture, Troy, of him as Multiple Man, because he's from Toronto.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
And now he got to be an artist at Marvel, and he drew like in the X-Corps comic, and he drew a Multiple Man story. So like it's a pretty cool journey for him. So I sat down with him yesterday, opened some toys, talked about that journey. He's doing some Marvel stuff, some Star Wars. So if you haven't had a chance yet, this is also on the website as well and YouTube. So go check it out.
We met him in person last week too, right?
Yes, we did meet him in person at Gotham Central. 796 Studios says Terrible MODOK. Yeah, it is a model kit. It's the model kit of the year, but it's a terrible figure. It's a very good model kit or puzzle for adults. All right.
Oh gosh.
I think Jason's gonna hop on in a little bit. He's getting home from dinner, probably has to get the kids into bed, so he'll be in a second. But episode 1 of What If, they kind of flipped it. It was more so like, hey, instead of Steve Rogers, we're gonna do Peggy Carter, kind of like the same scenario. But in episode 2, there's more. It seems like there's more what if, in the sense that, hey, now that this changed, this is how the rest of the timeline would have changed. And I think I would like to get the perspective of our special guest this evening. I don't think you know this person, Troy.
Who?
But yeah, I'm just gonna go. He works for marketing in the Hasbro Legends team. He's got a cool T-shirt on.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Ryan?
Kevin O Unbox, Kevin O Canada, Kevin O Recap. What's up?
Oh, just hanging out with my friend MODOK here. There's some slander going on with your colleagues last night.
I was not a part of that.
Yeah, I know.
There's no proof. No, yeah, sorry I missed that. The big interview, the big exclusive interview this week. I was stuck in another meeting that one or Dan or I had to cover off, so I let him go. Have the fun interview. I stayed behind, but
that's all good. I still had a lot of fun. I don't think we've done unboxing together, but I haven't really done anything this laid back or casual with Dan and Dwight, other than bombarding Dwight with questions at Fan Expo a few years ago. So it was cool, and they were really chill throughout the whole thing. So I'm not saying you didn't need to be there. I'm just saying it was okay that, like, it was handled.
Oh,
That's
totally. Yeah.
well. I know you're a big fan of the show. What If you wrote a very nice summary of episode 1 on your Instagram, and I'm happy to just have you here and just talk about the episode.
Yeah, I mean, I have been tuning in Wednesday mornings, kind of like everyone, and I watched your guys' recap with Troy and Jason for the episode 1. So yeah, what how are you guys liking it? What, 1 or 2? What's your preference so far?
I'm gonna go with 2. It's 1 was good, but, like, man, this episode just took it to a whole different level. First of all, when was the last time you and Troy have seen each other?
I feel like I see Troy all the time, but that's just on my phone and on your stuff.
Okay.
But
When
yeah,
was the last
probably Canada,
time?
like Fan Expo or San Diego.
I
Ni-
think
Did you
so.
Was there
were you
San
in San
Diego
Diego
after?
in 19?
Yeah, I was at
Troy?
San Diego 2019. And
Okay.
that was, we saw each other there, and then we saw each other at Fan Expo because I interviewed you guys.
Okay.
So that, or did I interview Dwight? But no, I was in the room for the whole like Alpha Flight
Yeah.
reveal. You guys were like, okay, you can stay in the room, but just don't say anything. Just like watch us rehearse. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I saw all those reveals happening, and I was like, oh my gosh, who do I tell? I'm not going to tell anyone. I'm going to get in so much trouble. Oh my gosh, it's like I have to say something. And I just like sat there, like really patiently, going, okay, we just need this panel to start so I can start texting people about everything that's happening. And then it was like
Hilarious.
that huge reveal, and I was like, wow. But yeah, no, we haven't really talked since. I mean, we talked on Instagram. I mean, you've sent me some zombie picture, not zombie pictures, but some things, which I was like, oh my goodness. But yeah,
Troy
I
is
mean,
definitely afraid of zombies, and Ryan has
oh
been
gosh.
like just brilliantly trolling him, sending him pictures of zombies and other things. It's been fantastic. But man, like episode 2, Yoko's got a good point. Why do we have to pick favorites? We don't need to.
I don't know.
That's a very good point.
Kicking it off. I'm sure there will be a power ranking at the end of the season for the episodes. But that story, Troy, you were telling reminded me, and I don't know if Kevin was in there, but like when we were setting up for that panel in the room, the AV guy, like they had a projector kind of on a table projecting on a screen, and we were working off our laptop that we just brought, our work laptop. And then the guy's like, the AV guy's like, all right, do you have a cable for the projector? And I'm like, no, like why would I bring around a cable for a projector? So we almost didn't have a panel
He's the
because
AV guy.
no one thought to and it was this like old project, like it had a specific it was like the multiple pin kind of input, and so we had to like run around and try to find one, but that was pretty funny.
I
I was
didn't
looking at
realize
the AV
that.
guy. I was like, you're the AV guy. Like,
I mean, Fan Expo. What do you expect from Canada's Fan Expo? But hey,
Hey, how
honestly,
dare you? How
I
dare you,
know,
Troy?
but like
Represent.
I've always had such great memories with Fan Expo and meeting you guys in person. So to hear that panel might have never happened, woo, it's kind of a scary what if moment, right?
yeah, I
What if?
know.
Oh, we were
Where
supposed to
would we
prepare
be?
some what if scenarios
I totally
for
forgot.
tonight. Right. So I don't know. Episode 1, it felt like they started off really quickly, and then they got to the meat of the story. Whereas this one, was it Terrence said the pacing was more consistent. It didn't feel like it got as rushed to set it up. I mean, you start off right on Morag, like they don't even. Was it because they started there and then they brought it back to the childhood part of how he joined the team? And again, everyone, this is me 17 minutes in letting you know that there will be spoilers if you haven't watched this episode yet. And if you don't mind, love to have you stick around and enjoy the recap. But yeah, how did you guys feel, like, pace wise?
Ryan, go first.
Yeah, I mean, I like how they kind of set you up in a familiar ground. With the first one, it was the getting ready to, give Steve the serum, and then kind of things went differently. And then this one, you're starting off in Morag. We don't get we didn't get the song and dance number with the holding the little creature, right? Because that's not really T'Challa's deal. Um, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was fun. A little bit too much Korath. I don't know if that's going to be, a popular opinion or not. But I feel like that was turned up to 12. I could have done it at like a 7 on that. But yeah, there was some humor bits in the episode and just jumping around. There were some character surprises that I think that I wasn't
Yes.
even actually aware of. I mean, we had seen some concept art and gotten, I think, some very, very top level story beats, but for the most part, like, we don't know what's happening in these. Like Dwight gets, and the reference for the figures makes the figures, but that's all we know. So
Hmm.
there were some big surprises too. And I was looking it up online before this, and most of the characters are like the actual cast, right? With a couple exceptions, but they had a lot of the MCU actors providing their
Mhm.
voices, which is always really cool.
I was very surprised. Well, for Thanos, A, that he even showed up, and B, that it was actually Josh Brolin doing the voice again. I'm like, I thought that was really cool. I like that they started off the contrast between T'Challa and Peter Quill, where it's like, I'm Star Lord, man, and they're like, who? But when it's T'Challa, this guy, they're just bowing in his presence. He's a superstar. He's a rock star. It's crazy. I really like the contrast there to set it off right away. Like this, he's done a lot of good in the galaxy in this timeline.
Yeah, for me, I really liked, like, I thought, like you guys said, like, I thought episode one was just like they were really trying to recreate the movie, but this one, it was like it actually had beats and you could actually follow it a lot better. I really liked it. And Ryan, don't hate me. Well, you may not hate me about this, but I hated the Nebula figure when I first saw it. But now, after watching this episode, I'm like, oh man, I gotta buy this Nebula figure. I need it. I absolutely love it. So I love how my opinions on these figures now change after seeing it. So this Nebula is definitely going into my collection. But it really like made you
Just
go,
very casually,
well,
he goes, "Oh, this one right here, this
that one
this
right
nebula."
there.
I
I
have
mean,
misplaced the tweezers. I'm sorry. I was looking for them, but
Dang, that's what I forgot for the interview on Tuesday. I was so mad at myself.
well, you
but
should
yeah,
bring the
yeah,
tweezers
Troy.
all the
So you're
time.
gonna actually maybe change your mind on her. She's got a cool little holster action there for her little her new blaster. But yeah, all we knew was Heist Nebula. I had no idea. So it was fun to watch that play out, and it ended up being
Mhm,
like a triple cross, right? Spoiler
Mhm.
alert for everyone. That was kind of a fun little wrinkle.
mhm.
They were
Yeah,
warned.
definitely. It's gonna be a pickup for me, so I'm gonna buy it. So you have my $30 Canadian. But
Yes.
but yeah, no, honestly, like this episode, I know we were talking like for me, I liked episode two a lot better than episode one, but I still liked my favorite thing out of all the what if stuff is Captain Carter. So like I need Captain Carter in my life. I need that
Mhm.
figure really, really soon. I just yeah, I don't know. This what if series is really opening the doors on a lot of things. And it's really like opened my mind to different kind of storytelling and like being there's okay, so if you look online, there's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, well, this is the MCU. I don't like What If because of blah 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 blah." But it's like for me, it's like, well, this is just another retelling of a story, and it's a new story. It's like I could appreciate this. I could really, really sink my teeth into it, and I could have fun with it. And like I go into movies and I'm always on the edge of my seat going, "Oh my god, what's gonna happen?" But this for me, it's just like, well, we know the story but like this is just something fun. So I love these what if stories. Oh, I don't know. I need more. I need more. Except the zombie episode.
Troy, we spoke about the toys. It's like we were kind of reserving judgment on the T'Challa figure first when it was first announced. Like I don't know
Hmm.
how this figure is yet. It seems like it's the art style or whatever it is. It's kind of different from the other figures in the wave. So we were just kind of figure it out. Like what, we'll see. Maybe the character, maybe the episode will change my mind. And I think it definitely has, especially like knowing now it's actually Chadwick Boseman voicing I think there's a few episodes with this character in this season. So from what I heard, I don't think it's the last episode you'll hear from him. But it does change my mind on the figure, especially that big orange Watu head staring at me in the package. It's the best.
Yeah, I have
Love
to
the
agree. Like,
picture.
it changes your mind on these figures, and I love them so much now. I can only just appreciate them more after seeing this. And I did say when we doped or noped that the T'Challa was a nope for me. Now it's a dope, so I'm gonna be buying that figure.
Ha.
Darn. But yeah,
Um,
no, I absolutely loved T'Challa in this. Like, it was such a great episode, and just like it made me like I was like, oh man, like this is one of the last MCU projects we're gonna get, which has Chadwick Boseman in it. So like I was kind of I kind of teared up a bit, but
yeah.
it was tears of joy.
Is that what we're calling him? The swole collector or buff collector? With Benice, now that he's
Oh,
the ruler of the underworld, he's a big strong dude. Ryan, do you feel like in episode 1 it was more straightforward? It was almost like one what if concept, and then they just kind of ran with it. Whereas watching this one, you're like, oh, well, if you know this didn't happen, if Thanos didn't conquer half of the universe, it's like, well, now Drax's family is fine, and then you start thinking about even more characters. It seemed like there were more possibilities in this one episode than the Captain Carter story.
Yeah, I think there was a lot more cascading effects like that with casually dropping, oh, Thanos is like a good guy, and you're like, what? In the first episode, everything pretty much played out, right, with the exception of the train sequence where Bucky didn't fall and Steve fell, but everything
Mhm.
else kind of like beat for beat. All the Howling Commandos, like same stuff, pretty much same stuff with like Howard Stark and all that. Um, so yeah, that was a lot more characters in this one, so that was cool. If you're a fan of the Guardians, but yeah, just building on what Troy was saying, yeah, it was kind of at the end. The tribute at the end was really touching, and you almost it's because it's been a while since last summer, and we haven't really seen any, marketing yet, or nor will we for a while for the next Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and like when that kind of kicks in, that's going to be really sad all over again. But it was cool to have him portray T'Challa like this last time in the series. And I don't know, I'm not one of those people who goes back and like scours the trailers for bits that haven't happened yet. So
Mhm.
you like maybe he comes back like, or the other characters like and they come back at the end. So we'll see. I mean, I assume the Watcher will. We still haven't like seen his face, right? We've only seen the silhouettes and the intros and outros. So looking forward to that. And yeah, I'm glad it's another get for you. I got the figure right here. The Dwight was speaking to how on some figures they were able to tool up from scratch. So he's all new. Captain Carter's all new.
Right.
Watu's all new. But then you've got some other figures which were like Nebula. The body is pretty much the 2017 one, I want to say. Maybe not. Yeah. So she's got like the pinned legs. And then Doctor Strange. That Doctor Strange has got some reuse. That Spider-Man has got some reuse. The Zombie Cap has got a little reuse, although there's a lot new in the Zombie too. And then Sylvie was all new for this wave in the Loki series. But note about T'Challa here, it's a kind of cartoony style, but he actually has pretty good articulation, right? So he
Mhm.
still has a waist swivel, and he's still got a kind of an ab crunch, although it doesn't really look like the ab crunches we do in normal figures, just because of that cartoon styling. So despite that, and then it's the standard, arms and double knees, but all pinless, so it looks great. I actually haven't displayed him yet with the head on. He comes packed out with the
Of the mask.
yeah. So I actually just I'm gonna need the tweezers later because the we're now doing dumbbell neck joints here. Thanks, Dwight. So yeah, maybe I'll play around with that later. But yeah, you've got the Star-Lord helmet there too.
Sweet. Yeah, Marcus E says this made me realize where's Ronan in this continuity. Isn't the Korath guy still working for him in the beginning? Because he says my boss is wants me to take you in or something like that. I thought
Mhm.
he said he was working for Ronan. Do you remember? Anyone?
I think he
I
said
don't.
that too. I think he name dropped
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. but then Ronan's not working for Thanos. Thanos is like, oh, once I stepped down and I went straight, the Collector kind of stepped into power, took his spot, and took over. So it's really cool that way. And then it plays out. He never does these modifications on Nebula, or was she experimented on, or were they like upgrades? Either way, she has hair. She got to keep her hair, which is why the figure looks like that. We were all wondering like, what's going on? Why is she wearing a wig? Is this heist Nebula? Is this her disguise, just putting on a blonde wig? But now we know, like, I guess that's what she looked like.
But
DK
all
says,
throughout, I was wondering where's Gamora? What's Gamora up to, right? Because they didn't really say.
isn't she's seen in some promo art in the Thanos armor? Isn't she with the big double sword? I feel like I've seen her in some promo art. I'm trying to remember. This usually when I stare off into space, that's what's happening.
You're not looking at the poster up in the corner of the room.
That would have been useful. But there's no Rocket and Groot in this whole completely different storyline. So it's just cool to see, and you don't really think about it that much until afterwards. Like, where did these characters go? What were the major changes? The ship that was originally called the Alyssa Milano is no longer that.
Did you know that the ship is called the Mandela?
Yes.
After Nelson Mandela. So I thought that was pretty cool. One of the things I did really enjoy was that when he's running around that like ship hangar scene, and you can see all the different ships from like Marvel and such. But if you look close, there's an X-wing in the
someone
shot.
told me, I couldn't see it.
Yeah, it's like some guy was breaking it down. He's like, this is an X-wing. And I was like, darn, they put Star Wars in here. But I mean, if you think of Star Wars, did you see that scene where it was in episode 1 where the ET was in the I don't know, it was in the Senate, like the species of ETs.
Yeah,
So I was like,
different aliens. I like those. I like those little references and Easter
yeah,
eggs.
I love these Easter eggs. So I was like, darn, this is really cool. So yeah, honestly, I love that we could get like subtle nods to other franchises in this show as well. So I thought this was really cool.
What did you think of Drax? He shows up randomly as the bartender, and since Thanos wasn't conquering anyone, the Kree never had this invasion of his homeworld, and is not only is he just a regular dude, he's still kind of frank with people and insulting without knowing. But like that part stayed the same. But it was like for me, it was really heartwarming. He's like, "Oh, it's Star-Lord. Let me take a selfie with you and send it to my wife and my daughter." I'm like, "Oh, they're alive," and that's such a cool little change for that character. I don't know. How did you guys feel about that part? It's one of the ripple effects.
That was a nice touch, yeah, and picked up on it immediately when he said that. You're like, wait, what? Oh, great. And that one, I think that one was not the voice of Dave Bautista, so I had to kind of come to terms with that. But they wrote him with the same humor where he's like, take another picture, you look horrible in that one or something, right?
Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
Like, no, you look really bad. I think I wrote down took a picture of the screen. It is not Drax and Corvus Glaive is Fred Tatasciore. Does that name mean anything to anyone? I don't know. They kept Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck was Seth Green in the collector's collection. Benicio del Toro returns. Josh Brolin, Kurt Russell. Okoye is Denai. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Guerrera? I think that's the same actor, right?
Yeah, from Troy's favorite show, The Walking Dead.
Yes.
No, thank you.
That's where I gave you that tip. She has the samurai sword, so you need to find someone who has one. Karen Gillan, Michael Rooker. So yeah, they got most of those names back. It's pretty awesome.
I was surprised that they got Kurt Russell for like one line.
Right,
I was like,
exactly.
I was like, wait, Kurt Russell? And I was kind of sad that what's his name? Chris Pratt didn't do the voice of Star-Lord. I mean, it was for a second, but I was like, I mean, if they got Kurt Russell, couldn't you get Chris Pratt? He was literally just filming Thor 4.
Who's the
So
bigger star? Maybe someone's too
uh,
busy, or maybe these just Microsoft Teams calls where it's like, hey, can I get a soundbite over Teams
mhm.
and use it for this?
Oh, I
Or
hate
maybe
Teams.
there's some sort of didn't we talk about something where it's like if you have a number of appearances in your contract, you don't want I don't know if they would count these as an appearance that whatever might
True.
be on your contract. So who knows? A lot of stuff behind the scenes that we never know about. Win or lose. Thank you for the super chat. Says the Alyssa Milano. Take your super. No, isn't that it? Isn't that where it came from
Hmm.
originally?
Yeah. Yep.
Hmm.
And I mean, I'm not even a huge Guardians fan. Shout outs DK in the chat. That's my homie. He's a huge Guardians fan. He should have all my information. Chamba says he's a well-versed voice actor who does a lot in some Marvel cartoons.
What I did like was seeing Michael Rooker back as Yondu. Um, I have fond memories of meeting Michael Rooker in person and giving him his figure and going, "This is you in plastic." I met him
Oh
at
yeah,
the
you did an
Guardians.
interview, right?
I did. I met him and did an interview with him at the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 premiere. And I literally brought his Marvel Legends figure to him. And he's like, "My goodness, this is me." And I was like, wow,
Nice.
he's touching this figure. I don't even know if I have
And
that
then you
figure
sold it.
still. I think I sold it.
And then you sold it.
I think I did.
You likely sold it to the other person who usually joins us for the Marvel stuff, my friend Jason Lapidus. Look at that transition.
Transitions.
Jason,
I like this.
Ryan,
Dude,
Jason.
nice to meet you.
Yeah. You too, Jason.
You
Nice
took
to
my
meet you.
spot, and I would watch this show. I would watch the show of the three of you. So I want to sit back and just watch the show.
No, I like your takes. I loved your
Mhm.
on the last
Thank you.
episode. What if all these other things had happened? Yeah, those are
What
good.
if the cap grenade?
Yeah,
It is
the
a
Oh
cap.
my
fun game.
gosh.
It is a fun, sad game to play.
Very, very dark.
Yes, it is, but that's okay. This is a nighttime show, so
Mhm.
Well, as a a longtime Marvel fan and you're a comic book creator, Jason, what kind of stuff do you see from this episode from a storytelling perspective?
oh. Well, comparing it to the last one, I mean, I'm sure you guys have been over all the same stuff. It wasn't 1 year in the life of. It was like a specific adventure, so it had a beginning, middle, and end that all felt like it went together, which was cool. And I don't know, I enjoyed it. I think the reaction I seen from everyone is that everyone thought it was a really strong episode, a lot of fun. It was definitely an MCU thing. I wouldn't tie this back to anything comic book related specifically, right? All those versions are real MCU versions, and there isn't much to connect to there, I think. But maybe you've come up with something else already that you think connects.
I think that's the cool part. You get to call back to these characters you've seen before. You get more. Someone mentioned the score, the music, and the background from Black Panther was being reused, so it's cool to hear that again.
Yeah,
just a lot of these stuff. It's just again the possibilities with What If you get to see all these things again. So
especially that once he
cool
starts
feeling.
getting into one of those fights and the Dora Milaje theme kicks in, I was like, oh, okay, that you know what? I think that was just again that's like a fan service thing because that was there wasn't something Dora Milaje happening in the scene.
No, there
But
wasn't.
it's a throwback just because we all want to hear that theme whenever we can.
Mhm.
The scene of Okoye in the casino in Korea, right? In South Korea.
Where did we last hear it? Was it in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
I don't actually think they brought it in. I think it was just in that one scene in the movie. But
I thought they did.
Did they bring it back in the show?
I think so. Because I remember we were talking about it.
Remember when she's chasing down Bucky, I think, and then they have the fight scene.
Oh, it is such a good memorable like musical tag, you know? And everyone has their way of saying it too. With like how you sing it as a person. Yeah,
you sing the Dora Milaje theme?
Yeah, just that, or if it's Okoye's, I don't know, because she's the only Dora Milaje there, right? It was just her kind of taking on a whole bunch of guards in that scene in Busan. So it was like, is this going to be her? And she's worthy of a theme song, is she not? So that was a really cool moment. But are you going to open that thing up?
Maybe on Thursday. I have to pull a Ryan, open the bottom very cleanly, take the figure out, and keep the tray in a good position where I can clip everything back in securely and rebox on Friday and
Yeah.
make it seem like it
That's a
seem like it was never
that's a
open.
nice package. That's what you got to do.
You know, it is.
I bought it for the box.
Mhm.
So it's, but also to have it sit there, like I want to check it out and see what it's about. Now that we're all here, I think one of the biggest things of this episode that changed was that T'Challa was able to convince Thanos not to go with his plan, where they make multiple references in this episode. It's like, that's basically genocide, to the point where it's become a joke where the guy calls him Captain Genocide, and
Yep.
which is a ridiculous name to have. But what do you think about, that change there? What do you have any insight what T'Challa might have said to him to change his mind? Because he's Thanos, he was very determined. He's one of those villains where it's not like he's a bad guy. He believes what he's doing is right. So the whole fact that they're able to, he's able to talk him out of it. What does he say? The best thing in your arsenal is a good argument. I'm gonna open it up to.
Yeah, he said that, didn't he?
And that's what he said to him in this
Mhm.
episode. So it's like, what do you think could have changed? Do you find that it's a cool change? But what, like, do you think it was? I don't know. Just your thoughts, Troy. I'm going to just make it easier. You go first.
Honestly, I thought that, I don't know, like, we know that T'Challa is a prince, and he's been trained to be a diplomat, right? When he was a kid, like, his parents were very diplomatic, and they made him, see the good in everything. And I thought that he could have reasoned with Thanos. I don't know. I don't have any like really concrete like stuff about this, but all I could say is that, can we get a Marvel Legends Thanos in the Ravagers gear, please?
Don't do this. Don't do this, okay?
You need more Thanoses.
That's the first thing I thought of. Is it weird where, when you watch a show, the first thing you think of is toys? Like, what does this mean?
Oh gosh,
Ryan, that has to be. Do you get that a lot when you're watching something new and you're like, well, actually, no, that's what you would know ahead of time, right? If something were coming, because I'd be like, oh shoot, I'm gonna need a Thanos in this little purple T-shirt, and then I'm trying to recount in my head how many Marvel Legends there have been so far. Like 5? Is it 5? Probably 5 for
a good amount. Yeah.
You Thanos. So that thought definitely had crossed my mind.
I think
But
it does when we watch it. Dwight and Dan and I and the team will kind of text back and forth sometimes. But yeah, it's always fun to see things that you knew were coming, that you hoped were coming. You were showing off the John Walker figure in box there. We actually got some reference from the show, and the packaging team did it up, but we had no assurances that it would actually be in the episode. It was just kind of, we did it, we were hoping, and then we kind of forgot about it. And then the morning of, I'm sitting there at 7:30 on the couch in the dark watching it, and then in that episode when he kind of goes through the crowd and he autographs it, and I just jumped out of the seat and was like, whoa, it actually made it in to the show. And then I started texting everyone, we did it. But yeah, I think your head does kind of go to that, when you're working on it. But again, a lot of the stuff, it's like surprise to us too. It's just so complex, especially a show like this where there's like twists and turns and things that that they think they want it to be a surprise. So it's a surprise too.
Well, it's good. I'm glad that you can still get surprised by stuff, you even having some advanced knowledge of certain things. To me, it's just, even rewatching old stuff, I'm like, oh man, I wish I had updated toys of this. And sometimes watching Power Rangers with some of the guys in Discord, I'm like, okay, which season should we watch next? Well, which one has the most Lightning collection figures out right now? That way, if I wanted to buy toys from watching this, we could go do that. So that, I think that might be the most extreme scenario where you're preemptively looking for the toys before watching the content. But Yoko,
sorry to bring that up.
What?
Oh, I just feel bad. Like,
no,
now trying to make a wish list of toys I want because of the show.
Hit us with it. I did the same thing when I watched Invincible. I hadn't read the comics at all. I wasn't familiar
Oh
with
man,
it, but I was watching it and I was like Googling Invincible action figures because I was like, this is cool. These
yeah,
characters are great. And there's not too much out there, so I don't know if more is coming from someone, but yeah, I mean, I do the same. If it's not Marvel,
yeah. I think Diamond made Invincible and what was the dad's name? Omega Man? I don't know. I think I'm missing
Omni-Man?
Omni Man.
yeah.
Omega
Yeah,
Man.
there
I'm
was like
thinking
an
of
old
Marvel.
set. There was like 1 2-pack or something that exists, but I was looking for like uh more. But I don't know. We'll see. There's going to be more seasons, right? So
Mhm.
I
maybe
want
down the
Battle
line.
Beast from Invincible. It's a
Mhm.
great series overall. Joe Taku Toys says, I like how, despite Thanos abandoning his original plan, he's still 100% sure it would work. Absolutely. Like he's at a casual sit down at the final scene. He's just like, no, but it'll work. It's efficient. And even at the bar. So yeah, Jason, what did you think about that? The whole Thanos.
I thought it was a really good surprise, a really good show. By the way, you can hear me okay? Audio's
Yeah.
all right? Okay. I thought it was a really good surprise. Never saw it coming, of course, I'm glad they kept it out of the teaser and the trailers. I thought it was one of those moments where I had to step outside of like my love of MCU consistency and continuity. I'm like, that's not Thanos. It's like it was comedy and it was a really good joke. I liked it, but I just take it as like part of the tone of the show as they were having a little bit more fun. I do not for a second, if we're gonna like talk serious, that like Thanos in the movie is that guy. It's you don't give up on a dream like that. Like there's
Right.
nothing that he was inevitable. Like that's his thing, right? He is a force of nature, and he doesn't give up on it because he's being talked out of it by T'Challa, no matter how persuasive T'Challa can be. But I thought I put it aside. I'm like, that's not what this is. This is supposed to be for fun. This is a more lighthearted experience. It's not just a what if in terms of the premise of the episode, but it's also a what if in terms of the tone of the show. We're gonna have fun with these MCU things. We're gonna play, and it's gonna bring out the kid in you a little bit, and you're gonna just enjoy it in that way. So there are a whole bunch of things that like, oh no, that doesn't work. Like, why did she choose a blonde wig? It doesn't make any sense. Like there's a silliness, but you accept all those things because it's the agreement you make with the premise of the show that it is going to be an animated experience and it's a little bit more lighthearted. I'll give you another example of this. Mm-hmm. We all look back on Chadwick Boseman with a great deal of affection and respect and all positive things. The version of T'Challa that we first meet in the series, in the MCU, is not a talker and a diplomat. He's not a persuasive, positive guy. This is a very focused, physical force of nature into himself. We meet him in Civil War. He's like, enough talk. You killed I think you killed my father. I'm going to kill you. That's who we meet. Well, that guy wasn't this guy. That's a very different person. He moves to being the inspirational character by the end of his arc in the MCU. He doesn't start there. So if you like take out the entire part where he's raised by his father all those years, you think really we're going to get this incredibly peacemaking, diplomatic? No. That wasn't the guy. Like I thought what they did was they kind of took the version of Black Panther that we love already, and they took how we feel about Chadwick, and they put it together, and then like put it into the series, and that's who we got to see in the What If, as opposed to the continuity that they've already established. It's play, and it's a little bit of like heartfelt romance. And I'm totally cool with that. So I'm not so hung up on it being like, does it match continuity? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I thought it was a romantic take on him, and I was really happy to see that take. I love the idea that he's a spiritual, like almost religious figure, and that everyone he meets turns into their best self. How beautiful is that?
That is kind of true.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But the Black Panther we met was never the kind of person that makes you into your best self. Everyone around him made him into his better self. His mother, Okoye, like they all bring up the best in him to make him a better person. And he wasn't having the same impact on everybody around him. But I think when we look back on it, we love that take, and let's enjoy it and imagine that Chadwick and T'Challa for a little bit are the same. and that we can just enjoy and not say a bad word about him for the rest of our lives. You know what I mean? I'm cool with that. The romance with him. So
I get it.
if
And
Chadwick's soul can change Thanos, that's beautiful. I want to go with that. That just, it's like he's the biggest ray of sunshine, you know? I would have liked to see how much further it can go. Like, who else can he convince to not be a terrible, terrible being in the universe?
I
You know,
mean,
it's kinda cool.
they kind of reference that the video recording from T'Chaka. It's like you're a bright star. I don't know, I'm butchering the whole thing, in a galaxy of 1 billion stars, something like that. But it is a fantastic take. I think a lot of people in the chat agree. Ryan, you want to follow that, or you want to
That
just
that's tough to follow. Jason's takes are always so well constructed and thought out. I'm just sitting here like agreeing with it all. But just listening to that kind of made me think back, like the choice to, in this universe, put that T'Challa we know, again, as we know him by the end of, Infinity War and Endgame, kind of, and put him into Star-Lord, like why they chose to do that. And then you kind of think, well, who was Star-Lord? The Peter Quill we knew from the MCU. He was still ultimately, a hero and a good guy and a loyal guy, but definitely, kind of more immature, a little bit more self-serving, at least initially. And whether or not he kind of fumbled the bag in that fight with Thanos, where he kind of got emotional, and they almost had the gauntlet off him, and then he insisted on like punching Thanos or something. But yeah, so that's kind of an interesting take, because it's taking what you know about and you're used to about Star-Lord, and it's just such a contrast. I think when we heard the pitch for, this is one episode, this is one where we did hear where it's a one-line thing. What if T'Challa became Star-Lord? You're like, okay, that's kind of random, but okay. And then you see the art. Oh yeah, he's got the same, blasters. He's got the same mask. Basically, there's different hair kind of peeking out the top, but otherwise it's the same. And so before I watched the episode, I never really thought about creatively like why they would have chose to do that. But then I think once you see the episode, and his effect that he has on those other characters and how he's changed them, Thanos especially, but the others too, is pretty cool. So thank you, Jason, for helping me come to that realization here.
My pleasure, buddy. My pleasure.
I think I agree. Like if you heard that pitch, just like just that one if sentence, it's like, oh, okay, I guess. Are you just putting these two together for the sake of doing something different? But like after watching the episode and Jason's super ultimate breakdown, it's like, or analysis, it's like it's so much deeper.
It's in the episode. I didn't do anything. That's what you were given.
But you broke it down for us. Like you literally was like, "This is how it is," and we all were like, "Yep, that's how it is."
That's how it was. I mean, that was what was in front of us. It was so beautiful to think that he impacts everyone around him so well. I did miss Gamora for sure. I'm looking forward to him.
This is in the poster art that I was.
So then let's if you don't mind, we can extrapolate for a second and say, okay, the universe has this much balance this way or that way, and if you take Thanos out of the equation, as far as being a force of destruction and hate, this is what happens, is that someone else has to fill the void, right? The universe hates a vacuum. So Gamora is going to become the thing that her adoptive father was, the role that he played as the destroyer. And that's what I'm going to just pretend is happening when I look at that picture, that she's going to be a world conqueror or whatever she is.
I personally think that she's going to be like, I want to just think that she's living on her planet with her family, and Thanos never came. And I just want to have that, that image right there. And like, because we never seen that, like, we didn't really see any corruption on Nebula. Like, she didn't have her limbs taken apart and stuff. So I feel like maybe Nebula Gamora is just living on her planet with her family. It's all there. And I don't know. I just want to think that for Gamora. I hope this is a different episode than this.
Hold on to that as long as you can, because that picture is saying the exact opposite.
I know. But I think this is a different episode. I'm not going to put any thought into this until I see the next couple episodes. But that's what I think Gamora is doing right now.
I hope so.
It's so bad, like speculating on all these pictures where it's just, it seems like every episode is just proving they're just writing a really good story for it,
Mhm.
almost writing around our theories. Toyrensu says that sword is wrong.
Yeah, it is a complicated weapon,
Mhm.
but it's awesome. I still need that piece. I have to. I have not finished building that Marvel Legends of Thanos from that wave. I never got it all.
Well, you could get the new 2-pack with Tony Stark.
I know. That's on my mind. I also, like I've told you guys, my MCU shelf is like the themes of the movie. Like it's Steve and Tony's journey from beginning to end, kind of. So the end, I need the end, right? You need Tony at the end. But also, I don't like having a BAF unfinished that I've like started, and I've already made moves, to get certain pieces. And if I'm at like 4/6 of the way there, for me to bail, and then it's really hard also to trade or resell 4/6 of the figure. So I kind of want to finish it. Yeah. Anyway, that's another story.
Yeah.
My son calls that sword the double shaver. I kind
Sits
of
in the barber's chair and he's just
exactly. Yeah, he's seen his dad get a lot of shaves, as you can tell, for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, it could be it's a different universe. I would like to see what's happening with that. But what was the other in this picture?
Well, Vision as with the Infinity Stones,
With the stones.
and Ultron armor.
Perfect Ultron.
Like it has everything. I'm tilting my head because I'm looking at it, trying to look at it straight.
Yeah.
It has so much in there to dissect.
Was it cool to see the Black Order working for the Collector as like planet security or like museum security, and they were in the box set outfits, the costumes.
Yeah, it was cool for sure. I'm also glad that those characters, we get to see them again, because they were, when we watched Infinity War the first 100 times, like they were so mysterious and interesting, and we didn't know how big a role they're going to play in the next chapter. And then to like get them again and have a little more juice out of those characters is cool. Did any of you guys watch the shows with your subtitles on?
Yes.
Yeah.
So remind me, what's the name of the big dude?
It's the Black
Call Obsidian.
Call Obsidian, but in the show,
I know it was mixed up in the.
Oh, did it say something else?
Yes, they call him Black Dwarf, which is his name in the comics.
So comics, comics and movie were different, but then the subtitles had him as the Black Dwarf.
Yeah,
but yeah, which was.
Have you ever noticed, like subtitles can once in a while also reveal like a mystery that is not supposed to be revealed in the story? For instance, if a character is speaking on the telephone and we don't see their face, it will often say who the character is in the subtitle. And you're like, oh, that just kind of ruined something we're not supposed to know. But this one I thought was interesting how they changed Call Obsidian and Black Dwarf. It's neat. I like all the MCU names for them too. They're really odd versions of like things that are black. Like Corvus Glaive is a crow. It's the Latin word for a crow. Like those kinds of things. Neat.
Right.
Neat. Anyway,
I think you told me about that.
Well, I like words.
I like words.
Awesome. Words are interesting.
There was a quote from Yondu. On any planet, among any people, there ain't no place in this galaxy where you don't belong. That one hit my heart right in the nuts. Ryan, how did you feel at that point, at the end of that episode there?
Yeah, all the feel goods when they get out of the what was the name of that? They were the planet they were on, or like that's
Nowhere.
Like the skull was that
Nowhere? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So they make their getaway, and then they're all hanging out at the end. It's very heartwarming. The relationship between Yondu and T'Challa is similarly kind of tender, I guess. I don't know. Like Yondu seems like a good guy in either of these realities, right? Ultimately, taking care of them. I was thinking back. I found it very funny the Kraglin line, where he's like, "What's wrong with you guys? This isn't Peter Quill." And then Kraglin's like, "Just wait, just a second. What did he say? 2 sea holes, 2 ear holes, and 1 feet hole." I had to rewind that several times to make sure I heard it right. That was really good.
That wasn't a Guardians line, was it?
No,
Was it original?
that was
Mhm.
original.
Yeah.
Because
And
I
it was
heard
e-
it was hilarious, and I'm like, that's how my kids would describe stuff.
He's, I think, a really good character. A little bit underused. Like, there's so much more comedy left in that actor. Director's brother. What's his name? I'm sorry.
Sean Gunn.
Sean Gunn.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got
Good.
some good chops, and that was a really good moment for sure.
Is this an episode that leaves you wanting more, or do you feel like the episode kind of had a good self-contained ending? Because at the end of episode 1, I'm like, I need to see more of what Captain Carter is doing. I feel like they didn't show enough. Troy, what do you think?
For me, I mean, at the end, I was like, whoa, what just happened? Wait, Kurt Russell is here taking his son? Wait, what's his name? Ego. That's it. Ego's taking oh my god.
Well,
I keep on forgetting these. Peter Quill.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to see more of this. I need to see what's happening next. And they kind of said, well, they kind of said what happens, right? They kind of like,
it's a huge cliffhanger. The way Watu said it is like something that changes the world.
Yeah,
and
then that
was the scene.
Yeah, and I want to see more of this universe. I love it, but honestly, I was pretty satisfied for where we ended off. Like at the end of episode 1, I was like, obviously, I wanted to see more Cap Carter, but for this episode, I think I had my fill. I do want to see these characters more, but I don't know. It's just something that just resonated with me at the end, and I was like, let's go. I'm good. Like, let's go to episode 3.
And I hope it's zombies. Ryan, this time you're gonna go before Jason.
Oh no.
sorry.
Before.
Regarding what?
No, just like the end of this episode. Did you feel like you felt like you wanted more?
I thought it came to a nice close there with everyone kind of getting along. But yeah, I mean that was a cliffhanger, kind of like what happens when with Ego and his actual son, because we know Ego's motivation from Guardians 2, right? He went to countless planets to try to I believe, if I'm remembering it right, like have an offspring, or kind of, and then had to go search them out again, and then he makes that discovery. Like, they make that discovery that Peter was like the only one left out of however many hundreds of potential that didn't work out to have the same power. So yeah, that's kind of, it was ominous, definitely. Like, what's Ego kind of up to here? And we don't know anything about this new Peter Quill working at a Dairy Queen. I thought that's a very. Do you guys know Dairy Queen? Do you have Dairy Queen in Canada?
Stop it.
Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I don't know. Yeah, I thought that was funny how they actually had a Dairy Queen, because it's a real place. So they had to put that in to digital form. But
the Dairy Queen where he was conceived in the backyard.
yeah.
Right.
Remember?
Oh, right. Yeah.
He was at the end. The scene that they didn't show was he walks Peter around the back and says, "This is where I conceived you with your mom in the last movie. Don't you remember? When they de-aged my face, that was the next scene they didn't show.
That's the director's cut.
Father and son, yeah.
I find it weird that it's an ice cream place, but they also sell hot dogs and other stuff. It just seems like a weird combination.
But their burgers are so good.
It does and it doesn't. And if you go back to like the days when things were like all burger joints were ice cream joints, like that was how shakes and burgers was like the thing. And I don't know, they just got more known for the dairy
Hot
side.
eats, cool treats.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
a sidebar here. I don't know if you've seen that commercial, but the girl who's in the Eternals was in a Dairy Queen commercial, and that's how I first figured out who she was, because she was in a Dairy Queen commercial. I was like, oh, that's the girl in the Dairy Queen commercial running beside the pool. I don't know if you've ever seen that commercial.
Which character from Eternals?
Sprite.
Okay.
The young one.
Usually.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Imagine
Salma Hayek
doing a Dairy Queen commercial. But yeah, no, I was like, I don't know. That's a sidebar thing for sure. But definitely, if you want to see the Sprite actress in a Dairy Queen commercial, Google it.
See, the moment you mentioned that, I knew Yoko would think there's some sort of theory between Dairy Queen and Eternals. The same way, Ryan, did you hear about Yoko's theory on My Little Pony?
No, what is it?
you've seen Black Widow, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm assuming everyone in the chat who hasn't seen it, cover your earmuffs. In the flashback scene, she's holding a My Little Pony stuffy or character, which isn't. It's out of time. It hasn't been invented yet in that time where that scene took place. And My Little Pony was voiced that character was also voiced by Tara Strong, who voices Miss Minutes. So Yoko thinks there's some sort of time variant connection there, the same way
Yes.
this Dairy Queen and Eternals sprite character. So I think it's a bit of a stretch. Some people on the internet, including Yoko, believe there's something going on there. I don't know if you've heard that one yet, but
I hadn't heard it. That's really interesting. If that time checks out where My Little Pony, wherever it came out in the 80s, doesn't line up to that flashback scene. But I mean, it's probably just Mephisto, right? I mean, let's just be honest.
And I think that's what we've been trained to look for after WandaVision. It was the fact that it was a plush toy, I believe, that wasn't around yet at that time. Maybe Marcus says, doesn't Hasbro own MLP?
We sure do.
Yep. So there's some sort of conspiracy here for sure. That's why Ryan is being so quiet. Jason, how do you feel about this episode? The ending.
Similar to what Troy was saying, that I mean, the thing had a beginning, a middle, and an end. So when it was over, he's back home with his dad. He's done the thing he had to do. He's become the person he's supposed to become. So it was a satisfying ending. Do I want more? Of course. I'd love to see a second episode. But it was emotionally, the thing had its arc and it ran its course, and that was cool. I love to play the game of like, okay, what happens next, right? Now that the aliens have made contact with the Wakandans, like the technological interchange and the possibilities of how they can affect the Earth in a positive way is like massive and amazing. But that is a story for another time, right? That is this one ran its course, so it was pretty cool. I was satisfied with it for sure, but I would be happy to. And like the rest of us, I think we all want to go back to Wakanda and see more of all of it and see more with all those characters, and that'd be a total blast. But again, I know I grew up on the half-hour cartoon story. Like I know what to expect, and it was very, very satisfying. I was really happy with this.
You're from the age of half-hour cartoons and drive-through hamburger ice cream joints.
I wish that's just from old movies and stuff. But I wish we had a funnier response to Ryan's question about whether we have Dairy Queen. I wish we had said but it's called like some sort of Canadian-ish name.
It's already got Queen, so like there's no references to the monarchy. Like it's already there.
Right.
If it was called something different, we would have
like Royale with cheese, right? Like it has to be something either metric or something to do with the Empire, the British Empire.
The Dairy Queen Elizabeth,
Her Majesty's Dairy Emporium.
Apologies, gents. I didn't. I know you guys have Tim Hortons, right? And as opposed to Dunkin' Donuts, so I was getting in my head about what exists where.
Doesn't the United States have Tim Hortons too now?
Of course, in the north.
Now, yeah, they opened one in like New York or like years ago. I remember it was like
even on an episode of Homeland. I remember they were staked out in Washington D.C. They're doing a stakeout, and one of the characters goes out to get everyone coffee during the stakeout and came back with Timmy's for everybody. I was like, oh my god, Washington! If you ever
made it, Canada.
Anywhere in the States.
Jason, that wouldn't have been very nice, though. I didn't want it to be a panel with 4 people and 3 Canadians were picking on the guy who's like, "Do you have Dairy Queen?" Like, come on.
Usually, the Canadians are so nice. Usually,
this is all revenge for the MODOK slander from last night.
Hey! I'm gonna just say I like MODOK. I can't wait for the world. What's this? The world tour MODOK. Can't wait to get my hands on it on October 22nd.
PulseCon October 22, 23.
Yeah, yes. They announced that finally, so we have a lot of work to do for that. Yeah,
I'm excited for it.
I'm so distracted by your Fantastic Four stuff down there, Ryan. There's this one image that is it's an homage to X-Men #1. I see the Thing in Beast's pose going after Magneto, well, where Magneto would be, but it's Impossible Man. Is that a book?
Oh yeah, this is the this was the Marvel Knights 4. I have a bunch of these trades. This is the volume 4 of that.
Oh, that's
So this
the
is
So that
creating
cover,
that.
who's that? Mike Allred on that cover, doing that cover? Looks like Mike Allred from here. I can't tell. But it's an homage to X-Men #1. So I just
Yep.
the thing's
yeah.
posed on
It's
my
supposed to be Magneto and
Yeah.
Iceman throwing a snowball at him, and it's melting.
But it's
through-
possible, man. Instead of Magneto, that's great. It's a good looking cover. Very cool.
That
Just
was a good run. I like that one. I think I have all of them in the back there.
I'll check
I'm just staring at that Doctor Doom because literally, Kevin, you saw me holding that Doctor Doom in my hand on Saturday, and I was like, I'm gonna buy another one. I'm buying another one. But then the lineup was so long, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait in this lineup anymore. So I have to go back and get that Doctor Doom.
Jason, were you gonna buy this before? And if not, does this episode change your mind on this figure now?
You gotta ask me that in front of a Marvel Legends guy. Come on.
All right, hold on.
No, I'm
There
just
you go.
teasing. So before I was not going to get it, and I've committed now, because there's a case coming, and I've committed to people having certain figures from the case. So it doesn't change my mind. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have any more room. I got to unload some. Have you ever told Ryan about our toy jam?
No, I don't believe so.
We have a swap with a whole bunch of Marvel Legends collectors and the toy collectors gather in a space, and we swap toys and whatever. And if it's a lot of fun and a nice way to meet people and change around your collection a little bit when you have a chance to get rid of some figures you're not really that into anymore. So if I'm able to unload a lot of things that I'm not displaying or playing with, then I will have room for more things. And you know what? You can always use a little more positivity in your life. So if I came across this figure, a second time, if I get a chance to get it, I probably will pick it up.
Did he use the blasters?
He did
On who?
in the opening scene when he's the opening.
Sitting at the Sicarians? No, what are those guys?
No,
Orb. He had it.
He threw his little magformers thing. at
Oh,
them.
the gravity.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm
I
wrong.
don't remember if he used the blasters.
I thought he did when he went outside, but maybe that was Yondu. I gotta stop watching these things at 5 a.m.
Yondu whistled and took everyone out.
I watched this one
DK
on
says in all caps he shot Korath.
the night, so
Did he?
I have to watch it a second time for sure. I thought he
Yeah.
shot breath as well.
And then immediately questions himself. Didn't he? Thanks, DK. I watched it like 3 times, and he knocked him out, and then he got Korath to punch the beam where the ball was held.
Energy shield.
Whoever's
Mhm.
watching this on mute, I'm just doing very terrible hand gestures, but
Can I just say that I appreciate you guys when you talk about like the dope or nope, and everyone has their opinions and they're totally entitled to that. And but I just appreciate all of you guys, just giving your rationale, and a lot of it makes sense, about certain figures being not for you. We deal with we work so hard on a lot of this stuff, and then we'll put stuff out, marketing or actual product, and so some of the comments are not the greatest, like garbage or pass or this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my it's not really. If it's not for you, fine, I can respect
dude, you
that,
have no
but,
idea.
Yeah. Can I just say sorry about my horrible ranting on the
No.
Invisible Woman a couple weeks ago? But
no, man,
mean-
stick by your guns. Like that's if
Yeah, man.
you're
I just feel so bad.
Oh,
I
man.
sometimes go, oh my God, did I say something bad? Oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to talk to these guys again.
Troy,
But,
if you ever went off the handle, it wouldn't be
hmm.
it wouldn't be fun for us to be here with you either. You'd know because we're like this.
You're always like, hey, can I give you my real opinion? I'm like, yeah, of course, man. That's what I want to hear. That's why you're
Well-
here. I don't want. So
Well, honestly, I gave you guys my real opinion on these waves, on the What If Wave 2, when it first dropped. Now I'm saying hey, I like these figures a lot. And this is definitely, you have to see the media before making these opinions. And sometimes. But honestly, like for me, it changed my mind. And seeing the Eternals trailer really changed my mind on the figures. So when I saw the figures be officially dropping today, like all the promo pictures, I was like, I actually really like this. And seeing Thena, and I was like, I need an Angelina Jolie figure in my display now. Like I was like, I love this. So honestly, like what I always say to everyone, if you don't like something, honestly, it just pass on by. There's other people who would like it. You don't have to really, you don't have to be an asshole, sorry, pardon my language, to people because you don't like something.
Time out for you,
That's
Troy.
like,
For bad
I
words.
just personally I don't understand people's logic. I mean, people on the internet are just so rude sometimes, and I'm just like, and I see these comments, and I'm like, and I, re- I really have to turn off the chat when when I'm on the fan first, because just as some of the things that just filter out of people on those things is just so negative. It's like if you don't like something, pass on by, because there's other people who will buy it.
Yeah, man.
Just also just took back to Ryan your compliment, which was very generous of you. Thank you. My take on that is that like how many other being okay that I'm at the front of the age wave, like the further I'm a little older than these guys, and how many other toy lines have gone after like this demographic for new toys? Like usually someone my age is buying retro stuff, and that all they're doing is hunting for things from the 70s and 80s, and that's all they're buying. But you guys are putting out toys that's getting a 46-year-old to go to the toy aisle and buy new toys whenever I can on a regular basis. Like that is has not happened in our society before. That new toys are being made that are in the kids aisle that are also for middle-aged people. So it is a remarkable, like you guys are breaking new ground. And yeah, I don't, you guys know I don't buy every figure. I can't. And I don't think the line is like the way I view you guys do. I don't think you're trying to get us to buy everything. You're just making it hard for us to say no. And that's a good thing. Like every time I pass on a Marvel Legend, it's not an easy pass. And that's a good thing for sure. It means you guys are doing something right. But the very fact that you're getting people like me to buy figures that are brand new from new content to me that's a huge victory. Like that's never happened before, from what I can. So I think it's an awesome thing. So I love it. Keep making it tough for me to keep money in my wallet. Like
no matter what Troy says. No matter what Troy says.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted. No, that's all good stuff. And I'm a collector of other things too. And when I see these other companies with really exciting announcements, I get psyched too. And if something is not for me, it's not for me. That's cool. Like not everything is, but some stuff definitely appealing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, I still have my opinions on that zombie cap. So,
but
that's just you. That's just you. You not buying that zombie cap because of your fears. I hope the team will keep making more zombies.
Ryan, what was that scientific word you told me? The fear of zombies. You said it.
I have to look it up again. I don't remember.
You literally DM'd me going, "This is the word that you're looking for," and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
It's a phobia. It's a zombie phobia. Yeah, it's
Necrochinophobia, I believe it was. It was like
Something
dead
like that.
and movement phobia. I remember breaking down the word.
Frozen dead. So fear of moving dead. Yeah, that's good.
Did you Google that, or did you just make it up, or was that a term that you already were familiar with and ready to get?
No, I definitely had to look it up. I don't have any Latin or any kind of etymology kind of knowledge there.
Yeah. I chat about this with my friends and Chamba a lot, who mentioned this. It's like, with so many toys out there, if this one isn't for you, just you can go get something else. There's a lot of people making really cool toys, and just because in one wave it's a character that you didn't want, it didn't take the place of like the one that you did want. And talking to more industry people like toy makers, it's like it's not like they go, okay, here's the wave, here's a piece of paper, go submit it and tell everyone. Like, no, these are planned years, months, waves in advance. So it's like something is coming down the line. So it's that whole mentality where like, oh, this is this is garbage because I don't like it. It's ridiculous.
Ryan, can I ask you a question?
Oh boy.
I don't know if you could answer this, but
Here we
how
go.
far is 2022 planned already?
2022.
Is it fair with COVID though? For like, is this it's not going to be a regular year, right? Everything's been pushed back. So all the movies that are coming out later, like that stuff was done probably way
Mhm.
back.
Before.
For us at least, it's the delays due to COVID and other types of things is more for on the like the shipping side and then the factory production side. But in terms of the development, I mean, we can still sculpt the assets. It's basically done. Like we have a couple of items that are later in the year that we're still sorting out, but everything is locked into place, and so the things earlier in the year are basically done creatively, and the stuff that's coming in the fall is still locked in place, but we might still be in sculpting
Mhm.
or kicking off the packaging, or the team might be getting test shots and FEPs to review soon. But like all the spring stuff, it's exciting to see it. We used to get like when we're in the office, we could engineering and design might invite us over to say, look at what just came in, but now everything is submitted via photos because we're not sending physical samples around anymore in this day and age. So yeah, it's really fun to see an email pop up in the inbox, and it's like, oh, pre-production samples, photos, and it's like, oh, you can see it for the first time. But yeah, pretty much done. We're getting a jump on 23, but a lot of it for us, what we do is dictated by movies, and so there
Mhm.
needs to be some announcements or decisions on that, and then we can get moving on
Mhm.
23. We spoke about, I forget what the context was, but like earlier, right? Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals. Yeah, so it was the Eternals discussion, how those figures have been done for a year. They've just been sitting somewhere for over a year. And that's not the best way to kind of put your toys out when the entertainment is tied into it. And like now with Shang-Chi's, the red carpet premiere and all the press and promotion and early kind of buzz from people who got to go to the premiere, people are getting psyched again for the movie. And it's just a shame that the toys were out in the spring. But that's just the way things kind of lined up. So that's been affecting us more so than the actual making and the designing of the toys, I'd say.
I guess you're just gonna have to hit us with the Shang-Chi Wave 2, because that's I'm always down for more. We got to have more of my Asian characters. That's why also Unboxing Thursdays Enablers edition for September will be rescheduled to I think the Wednesday before, because I'm gonna go watch the movie on Thursday.
Mhm.
Has there
Have you
been announced Wave 2 for Shang-Chi?
No, I'm just making up
no.
things. I'm just dreaming up things. Again,
We do have Ryan
seeing
here.
content and then trying to wish toys
Right.
into the universe.
Mhm.
And
Right.
that's how it's happening.
I'm just hoping, like, for like our sake, I don't know how it is for you, Ryan, but like I'm hoping that like we're able to see the movie still, because cases where we live have been kind of doubling every kind of week. So I've been talking to people, a lot of people are afraid to go to the movies right now, and I don't blame them at all, right? I mean, the last movie I saw in theaters was Free Guy last week, and the theater was empty. So I'm afraid that like people are not going to see this movie when it comes out, but they're totally justified. And I don't know. I'm worried about Eternals kind of thing. I don't want it to be pushed back at all, and I don't want Spider-Man to be pushed back at all either,
Well,
because
that's even coming out. Is there a trailer yet?
no.
I keep getting duped by these fake
Yeah.
trailers online that have 2 seconds of believable footage, and then you're like, wait a minute, this is not
Troy, just to touch upon, not to go too COVID-y on this one, don't forget the big difference between people being tested positive for COVID and people dying from COVID. And if we're getting our numbers up in Toronto with people with COVID, it doesn't mean that the symptoms are necessarily fatal. It could be that people are testing positive and they've got cold-like symptoms, and then it's going away, and then it's like the vaccine its job by reducing the impact of those symptoms and the impact on the hospitals. But anyway, we'll keep
That's a
our eye
discussion.
on that. Yeah, it's another talk for another time.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that like I have my tickets booked in IMAX. I'm ready to go.
Wow.
And I can't wait for the movie. Like, I've been only hearing such good stuff about this movie.
I watched one of the two
let's
scenes
go.
that released today, that were revealed today, and it's so good. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
so good that is this weird? It's so good that I don't want to watch anymore. That I want
Yes.
to watch it while the
Oh, yeah,
movie
makes
is
sense.
happening. Whereas the end of episode 2, for What If, it's like, okay, there is stuff that I want more. Like episode 1, I do want to see more. But I think more importantly, Troy, have you ever considered that this virus could lead to a zombie apocalypse?
Yes, I have. I really have.
Poor
Like
bastard.
when this whole thing started, like everyone was talking about it, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then when like Delta was like appearing in like India, and people were getting like I don't know, like some disease, like other disease with it, and I was like, this is it, guys. This is it. I need to start like hoarding food. I need to start doing things, because at any point, any point, there's zombies at our door. But like, I remember maybe like how do you remember the story about like 5 years ago? There was a guy on bath salts in Florida,
Yeah.
and he was acting like a zombie.
Yeah.
That scared me. I was like, I'm done. I'm
Well,
done.
It was Florida. You should have taken that with a poor choice of words, grain of salt.
Yes.
True.
One of the great things I love, I've got this, a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old, and when they see these trailers, there's my reaction with my history with reading comics and seeing all these movies and seeing every single one in the theater except for Black Widow, and then like I will watch with my son, and he sees, and I'm telling you, like, he saw that scene that they dropped today of Shang-Chi fighting in the bus, and it's like, he's going to be like a lifelong martial arts movie fan because of this movie. Like, this movie, I can see that he's looking at it, he's going like, oh, this is what I want to watch. I want to watch characters doing hand-to-hand combat at lightning fast. Oh, what's Bruce Lee? Yes, let's go. I want to go learn.
Yes.
Like we watched Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. We watched that a couple months back because he was Jones. And listen, it was a way to get him in. It's not that crazy a violent movie for an 11-year-old or whatever he was at the time. Like, it was a way.
So long, baseball. I'm going to take martial arts now.
But it's whether he plays sports or gets involved personally, but it's the fan of like the movie genre. And when Marvel goes into these other realms of other styles of movies, I can just see my kids, like, their eyes opening up, and this is their introduction to these things. And when he remembered that Simu is from Kim's Convenience and he's from Mississauga, my son was like, oh, he's like one of our boys. Like, he's from here. Like, this is so cool. And it's the first Marvel superhero who's like a local boy, and whether you connect him because he's Asian or because he's Canadian or whatever it is, it's like it's meaningful for so many people to see this movie come to fruition, and for it to be as dynamic as it looks like it's going to be. My daughter just likes it because Aquafina's in it, and she likes Aquafina.
You are honorary Asian because the amount of dim sum restaurants we discuss all the time.
The amount of dim sum in this body of mine is ridiculous. I'm 90% dumpling as we speak. So
When I was at Toys R Us today, I was just in the Marvel area because I don't know, I found a random hand ninja just sitting there, so I was like, I gotta grab it. And this girl they have a display. They have a Shang-Chi display on one of the end caps, and this girl goes, wait, that's the guy from Kim's Convenience. And I was like, damn, yes it is. So it was like, I felt proud in the moment, and I was like, this guy, like, people know from Canadian TV, is now like a big time movie star now. So I felt really good about that. But
I can't wait. I can't wait. But I think toy wise, was there anything else from this episode? It was Heist Nebula. Yondu hasn't been out for was there just one Yondu? There was, right? A while ago. There was two.
One with two heads.
Yeah, two heads.
Yeah.
It was it was the first wave in 2017. The Titus wave. That's a good fig.
Yeah, he's great. He's a great figure.
Oh yeah, Ryan posted a picture of all three of those.
I was wanted to get the Comic-Con collector and put him like on the ground behind, like defeated, but I couldn't find him. And I looked for a couple of minutes, and then I was debating whether I even had that set at home, so I just gave up and went with those three. But that was the vision. I like kind of thinking of, different types of shots and which figures to put in, but I'm not a good photographer clearly, so I just kind of make do, and then
What?
get some help with the editing. The editing is all my wife helping me out, but yeah, it's just fun to think of, like, is it kind of funny, what fun can I have with the hood without the hood,
Right.
holding another action figure, just
It was
goofing around.
Ryan. It was you that posted Captain Carter with the sword, right?
Yeah. Yep. I heard you guys talking about it. Debated different swords to put into it, but I didn't want to cause too much of a ruckus.
Yeah, you can't use third-party stuff. Like, you can't go to use it from another line or anything. So
Yeah.
I thought it was a good creative choice. It looked really good.
But I did open the door to she should come with the sword comments, and I was like, okay, well, I brought this on myself.
So, maybe, whatever. But did you think it was Excalibur in the episode? When you, like, the way you read that episode, did you think it was Excalibur or not?
I didn't, because why would it be like on the wall in Red Skull's, or the Hydra Castle? Because she just kind of what's that?
Do you want an answer to that question?
Well, of course you would have it. No, I didn't think of it at first, but
Okay,
yeah.
that's cool.
Just tell us. Just tell us, Jason.
No, I said to you guys probably last week. He was looking for objects of magical properties from history, from mythology. He was a collector of those things, whether he was getting them for the the Nazis or not. He was. I mean, they went looking for the Tesseract, right? It's an object of myth, so he would be collecting anything that he could get his hands on that would have a magical properties, because he was interested in the fusion of myth and reality and science.
Well, clearly the Red Skull is not a collector, because if he was, that would be in a case of some sort.
No, he's using it. He's trying to harness it. It's like, it's a thing. And he also couldn't get it out of the stone because he wasn't worthy.
It's like my toy room where I couldn't use this prop right now, so I'm just kind of gonna put it over there instead of putting it back into the case.
Well, let me ask you this then. Did it bug you that in this second episode, in the collector's weapons case, when he takes out the daggers and Hela's helmet, he's got Cap shields and he's got Mjolnir? How is Mjolnir in there? Come on.
Well, so, okay, I have a thought.
If you put Mjolnir in an elevator,
it's not worthy. That wasn't the real Mjolnir, because unless Asgard is completely destroyed, like, if Odin wants to bring it back, he can just snap his fingers and it comes back as well. So, like, whoever is worthy can summon that hammer.
That was a Marvel Legends Mjolnir replica in the case? Okay,
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it was a commercial for your product line.
I saw the battery box. I saw the battery box screws.
the little panel on the side.
Like, if that was supposed to be Cap's shield from the Earth that T'Challa is from, that means that those characters on Earth have experienced already dealing with the Collector, or someone getting it for the Collector. If Captain America is gone in that world, so is Dairy Queen.
True. Very true.
Gone, so is Dairy Queen. So to me, that was a replica, a Marvel Legends replica of Mjolnir and Cap shield.
So he's a collector.
He's a collector.
Everything.
He's a collector.
Maybe,
Those were not
maybe this is what I think. Maybe Loki won. Oh no, that wouldn't make sense at the end of Battle in New York, because Thanos brought him there. So never mind. My theory doesn't work. So
my Dairy Queen thing is going to trump all of it. Like, there's no way that Earth is somehow disrupted if Peter Quill's still working at Dairy Queen. That means things are just coasting.
True.
Damn, I can't believe we only got to that now about the weapons case.
Yeah,
that's probably on me.
The weapons case is super cool, though. I remember in Old Man Logan, there was a scene where, if you haven't read it, definitely read Old Man Logan, guys. There's a scene where Logan gets to President Red Skull's throne room, Oval Office, whatever
kind of thing,
and he just has pieces of, like, everyone's stuff there, and I think including even some body parts, if memory serves. I'll have to grab that off the shelf. But anyway,
Collector had the Korg arm. He said,
Right.
I
Oh,
chopped this off of the carcass of a chatty whatever alien species he was. That was kind of
Chrono,
A
something
Cronin?
starts with a KR.
yeah.
Oh.
Cronin, I think.
Cronin? Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
cool
I
that
thought
it
that was
still
cool.
works. Like you can still sock people with it and block weapons, even though it's dead. It's almost like an animated dead body part, Troy. All right. Well, I think that's all for the episode. Was there anything else toy wise? I think we've kind of covered that. I got my John Walker cap recently. I know, Ryan, I don't need to ask you. You have all of these. But thank you for wearing the shirt. That's awesome.
Is this a zombie thing? Because legends never die. Is that a tie
Oh
back
my
to zombies?
Oh, you guys know it's going to be like horrible when I watch this episode, right? It's going to be like 5 a.m. It's complete dark in here.
Do we
and,
know
like,
what's next? Do we know what episode 3 is?
I do know what's next. I read
Is
like
it-
the spoilers of like what's coming up.
Oh,
So
okay. You're weird like that.
it's like zombies is not happening for a while. So we have a few more weeks of
Okay.
safety.
Do you want to tell us which one's next? Is this like a big thing people don't want to know?
I don't
Well,
want to know.
I don't want to spoil it for people.
I don't want to know.
I think
you can message him after.
yeah, if you want to know, Instagram is the perfect place for spoilers. But yeah, honestly, like we have to do a dope or nope next week after the
I don't know if I have time to. It's on a Thursday. I appreciate
do
it
it-
making it on a Thursday. I can talk about it at night, and then I can have my guest is Plasti Adicto, and
we could do
he
it on
can help me-
Friday,
help
quickly
me
before
translate
the
it in
episode.
Spanish. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
We will.
I like
'Cause
I
I
like
wanna-
the day of.
I want to know what we're going to be doing, what we're going to see on that Thursday, which I keep on asking for Friday because I work on Thursday.
I'm trying to read Ryan's face right now. See if I can ever get him in a poker game.
I have a really bad poker face, so I don't
He's
know. I don't know.
Just counting. It's like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just counting us straight out and just raising all, putting all his money in.
I'm just excited.
Well, thank you, all three of you. Well, I mean, like the three of you here, not the 3 people watching. Thank you, everyone who's been watching. I like to go around and give everyone a chance to. Ryan, what do you got to plug? Where can people follow you? What do you want to plug? I have something queued up here, I think.
Yeah. We've got a
If
couple.
you
We've
need
got
to.
10 or so days and 1 hour and 39 minutes. It would appear left for the big Galactus. So we are getting closer to that 14. We'd really appreciate everyone's support of this. I think for those of you who are still on the fence, I'd just say now is the time. You don't want to have non-buyer's remorse after the fact. So if you can, if it is within your means, it's going to be worth it. And then if enough people get on board, then we can unlock Frankie Raynova and potentially more. So I won't say anything more about that. We've kind of beat that topic to death this past week.
Yes.
But yeah, we've got a Fan First Thursday coming up. Follow the Hasbro Pulse for all the official news. Follow me on Instagram, Dwight on Instagram, Dan Yoon on Twitter for just shenanigans. And just appreciate the support. Thank you for having me again, Kevin. Sorry I flaked out on the big official interview this week, but it was fun hopping on here with you guys, and I'll be continuing to watch your expert takes every Friday, even if I'm not here. I'm gonna have to go down and check in on the baby. I'm normally with her when I watch you guys. So
Aw.
yeah, thanks for having me.
Congratulations again, and thanks
Congrats.
for using your time. Sounds weird. Spending your time here with us, talking about this show. I hope it's more like you're here as a fan and talking about what you like about the show, and less work like. But I like to ask people what they have to plug at the end, and Galactus. I was so nervous with the interview this week that I forgot to mention Galactus, my Galactus question in the whole thing. So here's me making up for it. Trevor 16 Shooter says, okay, I'll buy a third Galactus. Blake said he bought 2 earlier in the chat. So yeah, everyone, if you're interested, and like Ryan said, if you can go back it. If you need to go, that's cool. Appreciate you coming out. If you need to go do fatherly stuff,
Yeah, I'm gonna go check in downstairs. It's been a while, but thank you guys for having me. Good to see you. Nice to meet you, Jason. Good to see
Nice
you,
to-
Troy. And yeah, maybe we'll do this again, or if I need to unbox, I got some Super 7 and NECA TMNT stuff coming. Got those fun email alerts that they're shipping out, the movie Aprils and Wave 3. So maybe on a Thursday or sometime in the future, I'll save those for you, Kevin, because I'm not
Can-
opening them up
You're
Can we
gonna
on
just
my
save them
own.
and you're
say?
gonna open them?
Depends.
So one thing I'm super
Whoa, I didn't
excited
say all
about,
that. I didn't
though.
say I would open it.
But one thing I'm super excited about is that the Sentinel is about to ship.
Yes.
That's right. I was telling Kev he needs a bigger camera setup or kind of stage because it's not going to fit in that little area you got there for this
Is
for
it
these
stupid that I've
broadcasts.
never thought of that until Ryan messaged? He goes, you're gonna need to change everything to unbox the Sentinel. You know that, right? And as I sit here right now, this desk looks more absurd than every week before.
You
So
could just do the unboxing and it's like here's his like from his thigh down and you're like here yeah.
dude, I mean, I've seen you hold the box. I've seen you hold that Sentinel box. I think it's where you're sitting right now. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm gonna get down to work after this. But thank you for the reminder. Thank you for the timely reminder. I need to do that. Maybe unboxing Thursdays anytime you're free, and you can come open your Ninja Turtles. Also, before you go, who's the best turtle?
Raphael.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ryan. Have a great night.
All right, guys. Take care.
Later, man.
Bye.
You want me to boot you? Oh, there we go.
Oh, that was so great to have Ryan there, guys. That was such a pleasant surprise. I really
Were you
appreciate
surprised?
it.
No clue?
Yes. I was like,
Awesome.
what the heck? Because you never talked to us about it. You kind of just like let it slide like nothing was happening this today. I was like, oh, guys, we're ready for today. Okay, awesome. And
Yeah.
nothing else was that.
Because I know how inquisitive you get, and then you try to guess everything.
Yeah,
So I
that's
was like,
100%. Like you know me. I always just, you're doing this, aren't you? You're doing this, right? But like,
he's just a fan. He's a fan of
Yeah.
What If, and
Yeah.
we talked about it last week. He wrote a whole kind of breakdown of episode 1, so he's a fan, and I just wanted to give him an opportunity to be like, hey, you want to come on? We're talking about the show. We're cool, and
you know who should join us one day? Yoko should join us one day.
I thought you were gonna say like Kevin Feige or something.
No, no.
like yeah, no
Yeah.
problem, Troy. You just ruined my
Get Kevin
surprise.
Feige, right? No, I would like, because Yoko's so active in our chat. Why not, hear her opinion?
Because
What?
she wants to make her own theory videos for her own. No, we can have Yoko on. You guys want to do a guest spot?
Yeah,
All right, we can do a guest spot weekly.
but we have to make sure that I will not be going anywhere for the zombie episode. I will be here, and you will be roasting me the whole time. So people in chat are like, Troy's not going to be there because he's scared of it. No, I'll be here.
That's right.
I'll be
Yoko,
listening.
we haven't renegotiated Bad Batch season 2 contracts. This is the off season. No, I'm kidding. Yoko's welcome anytime. Love to hear your theories, however wacky they are. Right, Chamba? Wild. He said, I believe his words were wild theory. Wild theory. But yeah, we can have her on. But then if she watches, then if she's here, I lose my
Best commenter.
Yeah.
She'll probably have
anyone else out there, by the way.
She'll probably have Twitch on her phone, and she could start messaging us on Twitch. It's all good. Which,
all right.
Hold on, let me do that right now.
Do you guys want to come up with alternative what ifs? By the way, no one hasn't come up as an opportunity yet.
Go for it.
No,
what's up, Gary?
Like, unless you're wrapping up, and then we can save it for another time. But is there any other?
We'll go. I can go till 11. Let's go till 11.
Okay. So,
ignore her. Whatever she's saying, I'm not scrolling down.
See, Troy Z is posting there. There you go. This is a not a dark one, because I can give you dark ones. I can give you a regular one. So let's start with the regular one. What if Loki does not kill Coulson? So Coulson is not dead to be used as a lightning rod for Fury's argument to unite the Avengers. I haven't played this out in my head. I don't know if this is a good one, because I would argue that the Avengers are going to unite anyway. That it's just, but maybe they don't get together, and I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think it would make a difference? Do you think it would stop the invasion? Do you think it would stop their unifying without that central kind of cause?
Well, technically, Coulson didn't die.
He died. He just
in my
he just
in
had
my
some bloody
universe,
trading cards. That's all. I mean, Nick Fury could have made the same prop if we're going to be very technical.
Not about making the prop, but he wouldn't have used it as an excuse. Is what I'm saying. If Coulson wasn't, stabbed by or impaled or whatever by Loki, you could argue that Fury would not have used that as the galvanizing force for those people in that moment.
That could be like a small one that turns into like a small little what if that changes into a big ripple effect. I think it's kind of relevant to this episode, because if Thanos wasn't conquering the Earth and he doesn't send what was it, Loki and the Chitauri, do the Avengers even need to assemble?
Right. So we also don't know how far along T'Challa talks Thanos out of being the world conqueror. Like, okay, should we get? I'm gonna dig way into the weeds here. I'm sorry. You said you have till 11, so we'll go with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I told you how much time's left.
I just rewatched Avengers last week, and it really stands out to me how different it is in tone and in certain characters. Not Tony, but Steve for sure. How they're so different in that movie than when Marcus and McFeely write them. And you know that, like, Joss Whedon writing that movie, does not know what they're going to do with Thanos down the line. Like, the Marcus and McFeely version of Thanos and his motivation does not connect with why Thanos sends Loki to Earth. Like, why did he send Loki?
I don't even recall.
That's because there isn't a reason. Loki wants to go there. Loki feels he demands a throne. It was about Loki, and Thanos was just like an afterthought, kind of as motivation. He's not going there on behalf of Thanos for any like. There's nothing in the movie that tells you he's going there on behalf of Thanos.
Right. He's
going there for his own purpose, and Thanos is giving him an army, the Chitauri, because. And then when he rules Earth, something, and in the extra scene at the end, the Chitauri general or whoever that guy is, like one of his sages, sort of says, oh, the humans, like we were lied to. They're not cowardly. To fight them is to court death, which is like the whole thing with Thanos being in love with death, which is like the thing in the comics, right? So Thanos then looks at the camera and smiles. Like, ooh, I love death, so I'm going to go to Earth. But that's not who we eventually meet. That's a very different character.
Yeah.
So what I was basically trying to say was, I actually think Whedon did not write a good unifying thing for why the Avengers become the Avengers. Do you really think because like Sam Jackson's character Nick Fury throws some cards on the table that have blood on them, that is going to motivate these, godlike characters to decide to defend Earth? Or would they have done it anyway?
Like it could have been any reason.
Like,
or even no reason.
Iron Man became Iron Man long before Nick Fury told him to become Iron Man. And Captain America was Captain America long before. Like, if there's a threat to the world, Tony already stepped up twice.
But it's for them to work together, isn't it?
I think they would have done it anyway. I don't think, like, Thor wasn't in that scene. It was Tony and Steve around the table. Hawkeye and Natasha were somewhere else. Banner was somewhere else. Like, it It was just
Mhm.
Tony and Steve.
Mhm.
So I don't think that actually that Joss Whedon wrote that great of a scene in terms of motivating these characters. I think they were already there. Okay, Fury says they just need a little push. Maybe they just need to have a conversation, but I don't think it was as big a moment as it was where it's situated in the movie, going from second act to third act. It's like this propelling, motivating choice. But I don't think it was that powerful a writing job to move characters from a second act to a third act. I think
Can
it
I
was
be
a little weak.
can I be honest?
No, lie to me.
I wish I could lie, but this I might get flamed in the chats, but
You've never seen
um
Avengers.
no, I have seen the Avengers multiple times.
Yes.
But
Who is Captain America? I don't know.
but no, not that. But I honestly think the first Avengers is probably one of my least favorite Marvel movies.
I think that's okay. You're not going to get
I just
You can say that.
I just don't. For me, like the screenwriter, I don't like the screenwriter at all. So
won't
you're
even say
right,
his name.
Jason.
Look at you.
Oh, his name is Zach Penn.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I thought you were talking about Joss Whedon.
So no, well, Joss Whedon is another completely. Anyways,
Right.
another story. But Zach Penn wrote the Avengers. He was the one who wrote X3. So if you watched X3, you know how bad that movie was and how much
Now I'm
stuff
offended.
happened.
Now I'm offended.
I hated X-Men 3, sorry. But he also wrote Free Guy, and he wrote Ready Player One. When I was watching Free Guy, the movie was literally Ready Player One, but with a different skin on it. And I was
Okay.
like,
Right.
this guy doesn't have any original ideas, and he doesn't know how to like get to point A to point B and make it compelling. So for me, I was like, I you're right, Jason. There was no those playing cards on the table. What they would have done this anyways, you know.
They
They
weren't
would
that
have
attached to Coulson. That's a good. Like,
They
it's not
weren't.
like
Not at all.
no,
it's
like
not like
Tony
you know.
actively disliked him.
Yeah.
Like, I won't even hand you this. Like I won't even. Yeah.
No, like I totally agree with that. Like if
I
they
think you as the viewer felt more attached to Coulson than
Yes.
what he meant to Cap and
Yes.
Tony, because you're like, oh, there's this dude. He's a fan. He's like, hey Cap, look, I got your trading cards, and there's blood all over his cards and stuff. So as the viewer, I think that's what they sold you on,
Right.
and me as well. It's just like, oh shoot, they got to do it. They got to do it for this little guy. But yeah, you bring up a good point. Like 10 years later, however many years later, it's like, hey,
When it came out in 2012, I mean, this is so silly, but it was the movie that North America needed to buy into the MCU unifying. Like it did its job, right? It got its $1 billion plus, and it made the name the Avengers a household name for the first time in North American history. So it did its job of bringing everything together. But when you look back at it after the 10-year journey and those final two Avengers movies, 3 and 4, they're just very, very different in the treatment of the characters, especially like Cap is not a likable human being, other than his heroic acts. Like all the whiny things he says to Tony, he's picking fights with Tony as it's like in his dialogue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put on your suit. Like, have you ever heard Steve Rogers speak like that to any? He was being a bully in that scene twice. Once when he's being affected, I think, by the Mind Stone, which I think was how we were supposed to read, like Loki's kind of vexing everyone in that room, making Banner pick up the staff. Like, you know what I mean? There's like Loki he's kind of controlling them through the Mind Stone, I think. But even the scenes before that, Steve is like picking fights with Tony just in conversation before he's being infected by Loki's spell. And it was so out of character for the Steve Rogers that we see in the first Avenger, and that we see, and then again in the next movie, Winter Soldier, because it's Marcus McFeely writing those two, and then Avengers in the middle. And it's like someone different is writing this guy, and they don't get his voice. He wasn't like this earnest little guy who fights bullies. He was the bully in that scene, and he was very unlikable. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. So, what if the Coulson thing never happened? It doesn't change anything.
Great. I'm glad you brought that up.
My
So-
more fun what if.
I
There's
have
a
a
good-
what if.
What if it's my dark what if that's connected to this? So the Coulson one doesn't work. What if a Fury keeps trying, like, to get dead people to inspire the Avengers to unite, and so he keeps like secretly killing members of
the heck?
like to say like, what if this person loves you and they're dead, and and it keeps going and gets more extreme.
That's very, very dark.
Yeah.
Troy, what's
There's-
yours?
There's two, but I'll stick with the theme of the night of Avengers and Nick Fury.
Mm.
What if Nick Fury was eaten by the Flurkin?
Is that
Because
Captain
Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't have the Avengers. We wouldn't have Nick Fury. There would be no Avengers kind of
Well,
thing.
would someone else have had that job, like to take on that role?
Yeah, but he was like very motivated by Carol and stuff. Carol was like that person who like motivated him to do the Avengers.
Yeah.
Like, so what happens if there was no Fury kind of thing? What happens if there was none of that? But my second one was what if there was no Rat in Avengers Endgame?
Sure.
Ooh. Because technically a rat saved the world.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a huge one.
But I'll play with my way of spinning that one is like, this is the reality where, like, it took 14 million.
Yeah.
This is the one where the rat did the thing. Like, if it didn't do that, this wouldn't have been the one. Yeah, it's crazy. That is nuts to think about that.
Well, I guess we're getting 14 million episodes of What If
I would.
Yeah.
in the future.
Do you know what I'm really wondering? What was that episode they moved to season 2 of What If? Because I want to know what that episode was that kind of held production, and that's why they couldn't put it on season 1. I want to know what that episode was.
It's going to interfere with one of the movies,
Maybe.
right?
Maybe.
To just clear it so the movie comes out before it does. That's what I
Actually,
imagine.
yeah. Maybe.
There's
I
some good
didn't-
ones in the chat. What if Odin never kidnapped Loki as a child, and
that's
Loki became the next in line to the throne, succeeding his father, Laufey?
Lofi.
Lofi.
Yeah, you just have to throw a little spin on that. Lofi. I wonder, if he would have survived on that planet, being that he was undersized.
Mhm.
Are they that ruthless of people that they would destroy a baby if it's not, if he's like a runt of the litter? Does Loki have any abilities that are different than anyone else's there? Like, supposedly he learns his magic from his mother, right? From Rene Russo's character in the movies. His mother is the witch, right? Like, he teaches him spells. He's not actually like born with those abilities. That's stuff he learns.
Mhm.
So he doesn't he's not raised by her. So he is just a small-sized frost giant. Like, does he make it past the schoolyard? Does he make it past, does he ever get to succeed his father? I wonder.
Mackerson says, I think they moved the Guardians of the Galaxy episode because it contained third movie spoilers.
Even though the third movie hasn't even gone into production yet?
Mm-mm. I remember that in the some interviews, the director or the writer was like, we pitched a Guardians like episode, like a fully Guardians episode, and they go, Kevin Feige's like, this is great, but this is already being done, and she's like, I accidentally wrote Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Right. That's, I think, a better possibility. Is that, like, what's the phrase, when two things evolve into the same thing? Like, they're not impacting each other, but they both reach the same conclusion. I forget what that's called. But that's a likely. You okay there, Ken? You're making some faces.
He's
Ryan
reading
sent me
something
a picture.
funny.
He sent me a picture of Dairy Queen's Wikipedia, and he said, at least Dairy Queen was founded in the U.S.
So Loki's just a regular-sized frost man? No, he's he's an undersized frost giant.
He's not a
very
frost
good
giant. He's a frost guy.
Yeah, it's odd that he has the exact proportions of
Human.
well, as Guardian and a
Right.
human. You know, the Asgardian, there's a name for, like, they're called the Aesir. Do you guys know about that? It's anyway, don't worry about it.
Tell us, man who is writing a Thor comic.
No, it's just like that. That's the word that you call someone who's from Asgard. Like those beings are, yeah, they're called the Aesir, like an A and then an E right after, then S-I-R, Aesir.
Mm.
I think I've heard of those.
That's the word for someone who's of that world, the Aesir. Anyway.
I think last one. What if Thanos' motives? This is from Trevor16 Shooter says. What if Thanos' motives for gathering the Infinity Stones were unknown? Would there be a drive to stop him? What if he was willing more food and resources for the universe?
That kind of was like in the episode today, or Wednesday, because they found that, what was it? That plant that could like feed people, kind of thing.
Something seeds of Genesis.
Something like that. So who knows?
Yeah, like if he wasn't doing something so destructive, wouldn't people try to stop him? If we're gonna play a fun story, I would imagine my imagination that someone evil would try to get the stones from him to do something evil. Like if he's not being the evil, something else is going to be the evil. Because there's always, someone evil.
There's always someone looking. Like
would someone
Red
just
Skull
be
was
like,
looking.
would someone just be like, okay, we're cool with that much power being concentrated to this one being because he's doing good, but like, is it still dangerous to have all that power all together? Is that kind of the question? Is like, would someone then still go stop them or
Just
try to stop them?
That much power shouldn't be with any one being.
Yes. No one man should have all that power.
Yeah, go get Accords, but against Thanos.
But if he was gathering the stones and they didn't know why, would they stop him for the potential of evil? Exactly. Thanos had to at least kill one person to gain all the stones. But what if his motive was good? Okay, so I think that frames the question better. If he had to kill somebody to go, well, I mean, that's the same motive. It's just a different scale, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of killing half of the population, he's killing one person for the good of. What if Thanos just made the food instead of killing everyone?
That's not Thanos though. He's right. He's a sociopath. He wants the death. Like that's the thing. Is like everyone, not everyone. A lot of people when they watch that movie, they think Thanos is trying to help the universe by cutting it in half, and they realize no, they're just believing the lie that Thanos is telling.
Yeah, he's
not interested in fixing things. He's interested in killing. That's why he smiles when he hurts people. He's taking pleasure in it. He is telling everyone that he's doing it for everyone's benefit, but he's truly doing it because he wants to kill half the people. He's enjoying
kind of like the smile on Yoko's face when there's an incoming zinger towards me. It's the same. It's the same look.
Kevin, you do deserve it though.
How dare you?
You do not deserve it at all.
She's doing important work.
She is.
Yeah.
Customs by Machu. How's it going? Says great show, guys. Surprise visit by Ryan was a nice touch. Have a good weekend. Yes, it's Friday. It is 11 here on the East Coast. Thank you for watching. Have a good weekend. Star Marvel says good morning. What? Good. Yeah, sure. Good morning. Good morning. If you're watching,
it could be on the other side.
It sucks that you guys have a weekend. I have to work tomorrow morning.
It sucks. No, I'm good.
Oh, I'm gonna play Lego Marvel superheroes with my boy.
That's awesome.
That's what we're spending tomorrow morning. It's gonna be good times.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Jason, I mentioned you were doing a weekly or bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly, yeah. Basically, every 2 weeks, I'm dropping another page of my comic book that's called Heroic Tales, and this issue of Heroic Tales happens to feature a version of Thor, like a mythical version of Thor that I get to draw. So I'm having fun with that. That's every 2 weeks that's dropping, and I have a comic book, an ongoing series called Group of 7 Comics, and right now it's in a run called Peregrines, and issue 2 is coming out in a couple months. And part 2. This is part 1 of that. And you can get that. Hit me up on my hashtag there at Jason Lapis. Just give me a follow. It'd be nice. I'm not like Troy. I'm almost at 600. So hopefully I'll get 600 in the next week or so. But yeah, if you're interested in comics or even you just want to chat, talk comics, man, I'm always up for it. I love superheroes and stories. Always happy to talk that stuff.
Yes, you are,
Mhm.
and a lot of knowledge there. So
That's
Very knowledgeable.
no more than anybody else.
No,
A
but
little
like we
bit
love your
more.
insights. Your insights are great.
Troy, yourself.
Just put my glasses on for this. Okay.
Where are your notes?
My notes, I don't even have notes. So where you can find me at Troy Collects Toys on Instagram. I haven't been posting that much this week because there hasn't been really much news, to be honest. Except for like kind of today, but kind of was out doing a whole bunch of stuff, so I didn't even notice that the what is it? What's that? The Eternals wave kind of just dropped out of nowhere. So probably posting about that.
Oh yeah,
I'm hope
I don't think I'm gonna buy that one.
No, me neither, but I'm gonna buy Athena, that's all. But I might buy Icarus because I liked his powers in the trailer, but I don't know if I'm gonna buy the whole wave, but that's another um thing for another day. But oh look, we have a bot in chat, guys. Want to become famous? Buy followers and primes. Oh boy. Um
I
yeah,
already gave
no,
you
like
the credit card number. Was that a
oh
mistake?
gosh.
Yeah, you just type it into the chat, and it'll give you the it'll give you the followers. You want to hit
Um
600, right, Jason? Put your credit card
Got it.
number
You got it.
in the chat.
I mean, what else do I have? I have my my giveaway happening soon. Hopefully I could put it out by Sunday or get it ready by Sunday, put it out by Monday. Like that's my goal for it. I really want to give it back to the community because honestly, Kevin, your community has been so great towards me and I want to give back to people. So let's do this. I want to give you a whole bunch of stuff. You two have seen what I have to give away and it's a lot. Is a lot. So I want to get that done. I'm hoping to get a review done by the end of the week next week because I have a figure coming in that kind of has been popping in and out of stock for places. But it's not really a figure that people like. So we'll see what happens. But for me, I'm okay with it because it's another character to add to the shelf. So it is not that Iron Man right there. It's not. But yeah, definitely follow me. On Instagram, on YouTube, and that's about it. Kevin, what do you have?
Oh, nice way to throw it over to me. Perfect. Star Marvel, awesome. Says I've started following all you guys. Fantastic.
Thank you.
What do I have to do? I gotta go. I have the Devourer of Worlds t-shirts. Part of my order came in, so I gotta go prep those tonight. I have some 1/12 scale t-shirts that I need to work on and ship out, and some other stuff. Next Thursday, unboxing Thursdays with the homie Plasti Addicto, and that I'm very much looking forward to that one. I've wanted him to come on for a while, and so that's gonna be fun and interesting. And then obviously next Friday, episode 3 recap will be right back here with you two. I don't have any surprise guests planned. Whether you believe me or not is entirely up to you. But I appreciate you, Troy and Jason, and Ryan, who was here earlier, and everyone in the chat who's watching. This show, I think, has been a lot of fun so far, and I think it's just opening up creativity in your brain, just thinking about all the possibilities out there in the universe, in the comic book universe. Obviously, I don't put as much thought into the actual universe that we live in right now.
Kevin, I have a weird question. I totally forgot about your t-shirt.
To order one?
Yeah.
This guy.
Is there a way to like
this is
attack
proof
that
as much marketing and posting that you do everywhere, even someone who streams with you and is your friend will miss it, and that's why you should back a Galactus when you remember and have the chance to, because in 10 days or 11 days you'll be like, oh shoot, I was supposed to do something. What am I supposed to do? And then it would have been too late.
Can there be like a homie hookup? Like,
let me know. Let me know what size you want. I'll try to put it in order.
And then I'll just e-transfer you.
You want one too?
I have a what if for you.
What if Troy followed me on Instagram. Yeah, that's a good one, right?
I do.
What
I
if?
talk to you every day on Instagram. I talk to you every day. Okay, guys, you don't understand. We have like 45 group chats, and Kevin's like spearheading them all. So like, like we talk every day, every day. So,
Marcus is right. It's always the ones in your circle.
oh gosh, guys, going back to work has been like crazy. So I'm so sorry.
Troy.
End of the night hat turn. When you get
Oh,
tired, that's what you do.
That's it. Yeah, it is.
So my last minute what if is what if T'Chaka and other characters that were around one generation earlier were on a team together as well. Like Michael Douglas's Ant-Man and Michelle Pfeiffer's Wasp. And anyone else who you can think of that would be around at that time.
I would watch that.
1980s
really cool
Avengers with Black Panther.
Mm.
And Wasp. Give me some muscle. Maybe throw in Hercules in there, maybe.
What about who else
is around?
Red Guardian.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Ooh.
And that reminds me. And the Captain America he fought, which wasn't Steve Rogers, it was someone else, right?
Mm-hmm. Or Isaiah Bradley.
Throw Isaiah Bradley in there. Though I think he's a generation even earlier, like he's Korean War kind of.
Yeah, something like that.
But I'm still happy to go with anything like that. Just figure which characters are around in the 80s and give me the T'Chaka Avengers and whoever
That'd
else.
Be dope.
Man, Ant-Man, Wasp. Oh, Bill Foster, Giant Man, right? Goliath.
Mm-hmm.
He says he was working on the Goliath project, so you get Bill Foster.
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot about that. Morpheus, right?
Another character with some powers, like not just big and small powers, but someone cool.
I
forgot that Bill Foster was in Avengers or in Ant-Man.
Right, Carol Danvers said she had arrived a little earlier. Oh, another idea. Instead of Carol Danvers, you can go with Marvel. You can say that Captain Marvel was there. So Annette Bening, youngified, or whoever it is, right? So you get that's like 5 characters now. That's
a team. That's a solid team.
That's a team.
That's
a start.
3 size changers and a Black Panther. We got to do one better. We need someone else in there so we can get one.
It's just a team. They're just all changing sizes. Synchronized.
Teenage Star-Lord. Okay.
Who else?
Something. Namor maybe.
Maybe an Eternal could be there.
They're not supposed to help.
They're not supposed to.
They're help, but they're helping now, guys. They're helping now.
7 days left, dude. 7 days.
I know.
Anyway, that's my other what if. An 80s Wolverine. Yeah.
Boom. There you go.
For sure.
There we go. Done.
Dang, that's a really good one to end on. What the hell, man? Why didn't you say that? I really like that.
Thanks.
Yeah. If you're watching still and you have more thoughts on that what if, let me know. Let Jason know. Let Troy know. You have all of us on Instagram, I presume, and we appreciate that. Thank you. We will see you all maybe Thursday. There is a Marvel Fan First Thursday. I don't know if I'm going to do anything on that day yet because I also have unboxing Thursdays. I don't know if you guys are free. We'll talk about it later. And thank you for watching. Enjoy the show, enjoy the toys, and keep toying around. Peace. What was that? Were you blowing kisses?